Giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the elder apostles and elder bishops who teach and rule well. Salutations to the elect. This is your brother Rai Bayamia here to share our lesson. And the title of this lesson is The Lord is Judging Those in Authority. As you all are seeing, the Most High, He is visiting corrupt leaders, right? And He's placing them in the hands of the people themselves. And you're gonna see this become a trend in the coming days because there's so much corruption that is going on in this world right now, right? But speaking, from over here in Babylon, you have DJT that said recently that he does not care about the financial struggles, roughly paraphrasing, of the people. So you have a leader that is creating, economic dystopian society for the people, and his administration is adding to it, and yet he does not care. So you're gonna have a lot of people reach out to mayors, governors, who they could touch, right? That is corrupt, and bring about their own judgment upon these people for the unfairness that they have done unto them, right? Now the Most High has put these people in society, right, over the people, but rather than they doing the right thing, they seek, gifts. They seek to do things in secret, right? Yahweh Shemel Yahushai, he strongly condemns corrupt judges, right? And the scriptures, focus on their willingness or their propensity to accept, like bribes and stuff in secret, perks. You understand? And by them doing that, by them accepting bribes and stuff in secret, it withholds judgment. It perverts judgment, and it disregard the poor and the innocent. You understand? So when the Most High see this going on with people in authority, he brings down divine judgment, upon them. All right. So I'm gonna read this script here, and I'm gonna read the articles so I can share a few scriptures. Lord willing, it cause you to continue to trust in the Lord regardless of what you see, regardless of corrupt leaders, unfair business practices, whatsoever. You're working and there's no wage increases, though the business is profitable, right? Unfairness in prices. I'm seeing a lot of prices of things going up, but the quality is on a downward spiral. So regardless of what you see, continue to trust in your boss, Shim Yahushai. Process. He's bringing judgment upon this place, and he's bringing the end of Esau Edom's rulership, right? So per the CBS Texas News, it says judge shot dead while heading to gym without her bodyguards. An Ecuadorian judge was fatally shot during a state of emergency that had been declared to combat organized crime. Ecuador's Judicial Oversight Body said it called the killing of Lady Pacha a serious attack against justice and the rule of law in Ecuador. In a statement released Monday, Pacha was shot that day while traveling by car to a gym in the southwest city of Macala. Her two bodyguards were not with her when the incident took place, according to police in Macala, which is the capital of El Oro province bordering Peru. It probably is it might be like an inside job, because usually they carry these bodyguards with them everywhere that they go. Alright, so the fact that bodyguards are not there, there's an opening in security right? So it might be an inside job, and at the same time, if there's corruption going on, right, a lot of times they get, comfortable after a while in their wickedness, right? They think that because of their higher position that they cannot be touched. You understand? And that's where Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, steps in, and judges them. All right. Continuing on, it says, the police source told AFP on Tuesday that the judge had received threats and was killed in retaliation for the release of gang members. All right, so that is one thing. He says she was threatened and killed in retaliation for the release of gang members. The judiciary cannot carry out its work under intimidation or violence, Ecuador's Judicial Council said in a statement. And Most High talk about accepting bribes in the book of Psalms. Right? If you know somebody could commit crime, why would you, release them? So they are all bought and paid for, man. Very few that are in high position that are so-called good. Which will lead me to Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 23. It says, a wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of justice. Right? So when they take these gifts, remember scripture say, give destroy the heart. Right? So it corrupts them from doing the right thing. Right? It sways, judgment. Right? Reading in the NLT, it says, the wicked take secret bribes to pervert the course of justice. So where, an innocent person, poor, widowless, will receive justice now because of the bribe that they have received, they get none. And the person that wants the justice, how do you think they feel? They lose trust in the system. They no longer respect the authorities. Right? And that cry is what is going to lead the Most High to move, to bring judgment on these particular individuals in authority, whether it be a police officer or a corrupt judge, man. The Most High hate these things because they are in a position to rule wisely over the people. Right? But they do the opposite. At least 16 judges or prosecutors have been killed in Ecuador since 2022, and it's going to continue to increase because of the wickedness and the corruption of how they're handling the people. Right? Since 2022, according to Human Rights Watch, last October, a gunman on a motorcycle killed a judge in Ecuador while he was walking his children to school. So you see, the Most High ain't playing. He don't care. Right? He don't care what you're doing. He don't care if you're taking your children to school, if you're feeding your dog, or anything like that, man. Or if you're helping out a lady across the street. All right. It says the Ecuadorian Judges Association condemned Pacal's murder on Tuesday, writing on social media, without independent judges, there is no justice. Around 70% of the drugs produced by Colombia and Peru, the world's largest and second largest cocaine manufacturers, respectively, are shipped through Ecuador. So you have your dock masters, right? Your port authorities are also involved in it. So it's like a network. Right? It says President Daniel Noboa, one of President Donald Trump's staunchest allies on the continent, has prioritized targeting cocaine traffickers since he came to power in 2023. He has deployed soldiers in the streets and in prisons, launched dramatic raids on drug strongholds, and declared frequent state of emergencies, measures fiercely criticized by human rights groups despite his hardline policies. However, homicides have only increased, so his measures are not working, taking up to a record 9,216 violent deaths last year. All right. Yeah, so these people are perverting justice, right, with their authority. So that will take me to Exodus chapter 28 and verse Exodus chapter 23, Salakia, and verse 8, and says, and thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blinded the wise, right, which would be the judge in this case, and perverted the words of the righteous. You understand? So when they do these things, right, it's all greed, right? It twists the upright judgment, right, into something that the poor, the poor don't receive their due. You understand? This is why we need righteous judges over us, man. But the Most High is coming in the kingdom. These things are not going to happen. Right? These injustices will not take place. So when they do these things, sometimes even the people that do not receive the justice, they see that there's no examples from their leaders, from their rulers. So they become corrupt and wicked themselves. They take matters into their own hands. When we read that in the NLT, it says, take no bribes, for a bribe make you ignore something that you clearly see. A bribe makes even the righteous person twist the truth, and that is wicked as all hell, man. Alright. Continuing on, it says the U.S. forces help Ecuador target alleged narco-terrorists. American commandos recently joined Ecuadorian troops in a joint mission aimed at dismantling a suspected criminal hub operated by an alleged narco terrorist organization along the country's coast. The operation, dubbed Lanza Marina, focused on a compound believed to serve as a staging ground for high-speed boats linked to Los Choneros, according to two U.S. officials who spoke to CBS News under condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly. The two U.S. officials said the U.S. forces worked in advisory roles, assisting and accompanying their Ecuadorian counterparts as they moved against the site. Part of the broader efforts to curb trafficking networks that rely on fast-moving marine routes. In early March, the U.S. and Ecuador launched joint military operations against designated terrorist organizations in the South American country. And that brings us to the end of the article. But to see when these wicked, police officers, these judges, these magistrates, these lawyers, so on and so forth, do these things, their ways are corrupt, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to step in because he is the ultimate judge. And we would read that in Psalms chapter 94 and verse 20, where it says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn innocent blood, right? So the people who are upright, they condemn, but the people they are wicked, they release and they grant favors to. It says, lastly, but the Lord is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. So you see, so we have the ultimate judge. So when these corrupt judges don't do what they are supposed to, we have to cry unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai for deliverance. And this is what people in authority should ask for, like King Solomon did when he was brought to power. What did he request unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? And we read it here, and I'll end here in 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 9. And it says, give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, so thy great people? Right? And that great people is the nation of Israel. Right? So he asks Yahweh Hashem Yahushai for understanding and for wisdom, right, to rule over his people in uprightness and fairness, right, under the law. And these judges in society, yeah, they might be sworn in on a King James Version Bible, but that is as far as they go with where the Bible is concerned, right? They do things in secret, right? When it's time to pass down judgment, they are in cahoots or in counsel with the lawyers, the prosecutors, the defenders, right? They are all friends. It's all one network. So you think that they are separate from influence, and they are not, right? So we ain't got long to have these people over us, man. We're going to have Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, a righteous king, over us, and we would be joint heirs with him, Lord willing. All right, so stay tuned. All right, the wickedness is almost over. Continue to endure until the end. Until the next time, this is Rabbi Banyamian. Shalom.